What's up, everybody? Welcome to Games
You
That
gotta
Are...
you gotta start recording if you're wanting, or you're just practicing.
No, we're recording.
Oh, we're recording. Okay.
God damn it, Robert. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Games Are Hard. My name's Stephan Riley, and I'm joined today by Roberto Javier Esqueras El Tigre.
That's me.
That's him. Robert, why are we here? Why is Metacritic on our screen? What's happening?
So we're gonna be talking about game reviews and particularly review scores, and offering an alternate system to it that I believe, and I think you believe, is far superior for users to find out what games rate.
We both agree there's an issue with the way games are reviewed right now and assigning an arbitrary number to a game, and especially with aggregate sites like Metacritic that take all these arbitrary numbers and create a much bigger arbitrary number, and they give weights to different numbers like from IGN and GameStop and Kotaku for some reason, and then give less of a weight to other numbers, and it's all kind of messy and isn't really a great way to give one's opinion of a video game or an analog game. Yeah. So right now we're on Metacritic right now, and you can see these are all the top rated games right now. Let's take a look at NBA here. And so there's the critic reviews and the user reviews. Users always give worse reviews because, whatever. But, and so...
Just pause it. There you go.
Game critics gave it a 95. God is a Geek, Xbox Achievements, Trusted Reviews. And you can see all these critic reviews are from a whole bunch of different sites. 16 different critics gave mostly positive. But the thing about all these different sites is this is a 100-point scale, 0 to 100. And all of these sites don't use 100-point scales. Some of them use 5 stars. Some of them use 20-point scale, so like 5, 5.5, 6, 6.5. But what Metacritic does is it takes all these and puts them on the same scale, which makes no sense and doesn't give you an accurate representation of what everyone thinks, even though all those representations don't make sense because you're putting numbers on things. Robert, what do you think?
So, I mean, even looking past Metacritic making arbitrary numbers from arbitrary numbers, if you just look at the fact that they're an arbitrary number in the first place, is that these numbers mean absolutely nothing. A 7 does not mean it meets these qualities, and it shouldn't. A game shouldn't be like, if it meets this quality, it gets this. It should be directly related to, I feel, how the general population consider how well that they enjoy that game, how well they're engaged with that game.
And that is like what Metacritic is trying to get at. Like, if a bunch of people give something a 10 out of 10, it's probably a really great game, and so that's what they're trying to get at.
Yeah, and another issue with this, like with user reviews, I think those are great, but they're so easily exploitable. Like, you just put every game that you like a 10 and every game that you hate a 0.
See, look, I've never played an NBA game in my life. It's a 0 out of 10. There we go.
Yeah, I mean, you just log in. That's easy. You could put 0 out of 10, and you know nothing about it.
Chump.
So, like, I feel like a lot of users probably, for the most part, don't give ratings in like the 2 to 3 range when they just put everything that they really hate right in a 1, which sort of defeats the purpose of giving a game a rating, because obviously these numbers mean nothing. It's just, there's a number, give it a number.
Yeah, and if we go to IGN here and you look at any one of their games that they've been talking about or covering, so it just came out, Gears of War 4, and you look, they give it a 9.2. A 9.2 on IGN is amazing, I think. Yeah, so they have assigned a word to each range from like 9 to 9.9 is amazing. 8 to 8.9 is great. And so if you actually go through the page for Gears of War, they let the users submit their reviews, and with every wonderful person on IGN loves to give things less than favorable coverage.
I think you're in the wrong place, but I mean that doesn't really matter.
So see, the community gives it an 8.5, IGN gives it a 9. I can give whatever the hell I want. Never played it. It's a 9.4. See, just
Nice.
like that, I've contributed. Never played the game in my life. It's a 9.4.
Nice.
Amazing. Master Riley, ship it. So yeah, so we're just like, this is one of the issues with Metacritic accumulating arbitrary numbers and making an even more arbitrary number, and sites in general giving arbitrary numbers. I think we both agree that aside from the public creating a list, which we'll get to, the best way to get a idea from a review of what the game is like is to actually read the review, because it's an opinion and you need to read through what they thought. And if someone gives a game a 9 out of 10 and you read through and everything they loved about the game you don't love about games, you're not going to like that game even though it has that arbitrary number on it. So you actually need to read the content of the review to get an accurate idea whether you like it or not.
No, I'd say there is an importance to a number, because reading the whole thing will take plenty of time. And if, like, for example, you're just, like, I don't know, let's say a launch of a console, there's, I don't know how many games typically launch, 20,
yeah.
Right? And so you're saying, well, okay, I want to get the 3 best games. I know I don't like sports games, so I'm going to completely ignore those ones. But for the most part, I like any other games but sports games. Let's just say theoretically. And so you look at, it's easy to look at reviews, like just the number. If you don't have a lot of time, you say, okay, well, I'll just take the ones that have the top 3 scores, and that's a fairly good indication as how much you will probably like that game, because usually the number is based on how well a reviewer liked it or how well they think people will like it. And so there is importance to the number. It's just a quick way of finding out how good that game is, although again, it's an arbitrary number. It means nothing, and I feel like we can make that number mean something, and we'll get to how that's going to happen.
Our solution, Robert, we're going to break this down for the folks here. So right now, what are we looking at, Robert?
So this is my ranking list. So I have ranked this is my digital ranking list. I have one for analog and digital games. So I've ranked every game that I feel like I've played enough to sort of understand what the game is.
How many hours would you say that is?
Well, it really depends on the game. Like, for example, my second game there, Dota 2, if I had played 20 hours of Dota 2, I don't think I should have put it on that list. Now, I've played over 1,000 hours of Dota 2, so I can put it on that list.
You nerd.
On the other hand...
how long did you play All Stars Racing?
About 100 hours.
Oh, wow. The ones that's a lot longer than a lot of people have played All Stars Racing.
I want to point out something. When I play a game, usually this is how I go about games. It's like, if I really like a game, I play it for over 100 hours.
So, but like what you're getting at is like every game on here, you feel like you've played enough to judge it as a
I'd say like the first 15 games there, I probably all played them more than 100 hours.
Sports ball's wonderful.
Maybe not sports ball, but but like for example, sports ball, I don't think you need to play that for 20 hours to figure out what it is. And
you can play it for an hour or two.
You play that half an hour, you know what?
Yeah, you get the idea.
Smash Bros, you play that for like 20 minutes, you know what Smash Bros is.
You know what Smash Bros is.
Whereas Dota 2, if you play that for 20 minutes, you do not know what Dota 2 is. So it really does depend on the game. Now,
so our public list, you can contribute to this in this theoretical world where reviews are not as trusted as like this public list.
So yeah, I guess actually we want to go over the theoretical system. Okay,
this is a theoretical system.
So first of all, I want to just emphasize this is my own list. This personal list. I do not believe this rates the game by quality, and I mean I could make one that I would rate by quality, and it would differ from this list somewhat. I mean, not a huge amount, but it would differ from this list. But if I was to think of the way that would work the best, is that really we don't want to give certain people the power to rate what they think the quality of the game is. We want
like I did with Gears of War there.
Right.
Never played it before in my life.
We want everyone who's played the game a significant amount. Obviously, you can't tell a person how much they've played is a significant amount or not, but everyone the chance who's played it and think they have an opinion on the game to rate it on their list. And then we take all those stats together and we give an average. And obviously, all these things can be turned into a percentile. So, like, if you scroll down to the bottom there, Stephen, of my list. Also, this is not all the games I've ever played ever. I probably am forgetting ones that I even know. So at the bottom there, 178. I have 178 games on this list. I still need to add to this one, definitely. But I can give every game a percentile, right? By dividing whatever position it is on the list by 178, and that's the percentile that game has, or -1 is the percentile that game has.
Right.
And so every game can be assigned a percentile, which is basically a score out of 100. But this score is related to every other game. So these scores mean something. It means that it beat 70%, like it's better than 70% of all other games,
right,
and it's worse than 30% of other games. Each number means something. It has a very meaningful meaning.
A meaningful meaning.
Yes, it does.
Robert.com.
Yes. I mean, also, if anyone wants to make this website, I'm not saying I have any claim over this at all. You
And
go
we would
right
love to
ahead.
contribute.
I will
basically-
be the first one on it.
In our theoretical world, people rank their games instead of just picking one game and giving it an arbitrary number. And forcing people to judge a game based on other games they've played is a more accurate way to present games critically as better to not as good, or EpiPen Tycoon.
And like, I mean, also you see on YouTube videos, like someone makes a video and then someone just completely downvotes it, right? And there might be some people who actually enjoy the video, it's just they don't enjoy it enough to put in the effort to like it, right? And so what the video ended up getting is a whole bunch of downvotes. Same thing happens with like a game with a whole bunch of negative reviews.
Like we saw that with No Man's Sky on Steam. No Man's Sky has like 8,000 reviews, overwhelmingly negative. And, well, that might be a different situation with some false advertising there, but the public, or the community had a lot of power in hurting that game's sales by negatively reviewing it. But if you forced people to place No Man's Sky on a list similar to this, you would find out that No Man's Sky is actually pretty good when you have to compare it to a whole bunch of other games, and that would create a more fair system for putting a game like No Man's Sky on a list, you know?
Also, if someone did really just want to hurt that particular game, by hurting that particular game, they have to bump every other game on their list up. Yeah. Which means if they, in the past, like say, oh, I don't like Gears of War, they wanted to put Gears of War right at the bottom, and then like, I don't like No Man's Sky, put No Man's Sky on the bottom. That bumps Gears of War up. So there's no way of completely just going about attacking a bunch of games. Whenever you attack a specific game, you're bringing all the other games that you've previously attacked up. Yeah. And it's evenly spread. Like that's the other thing with reviews is I feel like on IGN and that most of the reviews settle sort of in like the 7 to 9 area, which doesn't make any sense. It should just be a spread. Whereas like,
well, I would also say that big sites like IGN and GameStop would only cover notable games. Does that make sense?
That's true.
Like
that's
IGN's not reviewing EpiPen Tycoon, and they're not reviewing, Jackbox Party or stuff like that because
they probably are now. But
I don't think I saw a review for Jackbox Party 3. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But that might just be here though.
So I would think that the spread on not seeing a spread on IGN makes sense because they're only going to cover games people really want to know about, and people really want to know about usually the good games. Usually. Yeah. So let's take a look at your analog list here. We've also got the analog list here. For those who know, analog is just a fancy way of saying board games and card games. So we've got
good old Flux at the bottom there. And so just to know, on the analog side, these are all games that I've played twice. I've
played through beginning to end twice.
I've only put games I put on here I've played twice. I played many games once, but I only put it on the list if I've played it twice.
And that says something if Robert's only going to play it once.
Well, it doesn't say, either it says, there's two things it says.
Two things it says.
Either I don't own the game, I don't have access to the game, or I have no intent of playing it again.
Like, wait, did you put... What's the card game? The flag game.
Oh, Flippin' Flags?
Flippin' Flags!
It's on there. It's on there. It's right there at number 29.
Flippin' Flags is number 29.
Right under Wits and Ragers, right above Serenissima.
Holy shit. I love Flippin' Flags, guys. You gotta play Flippin' Flags. Oh my god.
It's decent. And I'll say it's decent. I rate it 29 out of 74. So
what's the percentage on that?
It's in the 70th percentile almost.
7 out of 10 IGN or
about.
Robert.com.
I mean, I feel like people would probably under our viewer base. Well, I don't know.
Be more down for videos.
Ours is our viewer base. I mean, we have more views on our Dominion Intrigue video.
You assume we have a viewer base.
Yeah, we don't. Well, actually, we know we have first years.
Yeah, those first years love us.
Yeah, we talk about not Borderlands, Battleborn. And we on the podcast about me liking it, and I usually say it's decent. So, and I think Stephen joked about the 6 out of 10. So we can find the exact place I put it.
I can just find it.
Yeah, find it. There we go.
42,
42 out of
178.
178. So that's like top 75.
And Robert spent money on Battleborn when a lot of people didn't.
Yeah, I did get it on sale, only $15.
$15, jeez. So anyway, that's our thoughts on the current review situation in video games and board games. So Thank you for watching. If you have any thoughts about our proposed solution or completely disagree with us and love giving stuff arbitrary numbers, please let us know. We'd love to hear from you. Like this video if you enjoyed it. If you didn't, dislike it. Leave a comment.
Those mean a bit, but rank it.
Rank it. If you can compile a list of all of our videos and rank from the ones you enjoyed the most.
Make a playlist.
Make a playlist and then share it with us. That would be a great way for us to get some feedback on what people like and don't like.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm Stephen Riley, at Stephen Riley on Twitter. Roberto Durante El Tigre is at Robert Durant 73.
173.
173 on Twitter. Bye.